Hello, wonderful beings. Welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, episode number 93. I am so happy to have you here. So, this is our Wheel of Wisdom, and this wheel contains the name of 31 books that have been selected out of the many books that I've read in the past 8 years in my own journey of transformation. And what we do now is that we spin this wheel, and this wheel randomly chooses a book for us. A book that the universe, God, divine, source, spirit, higher self, whatever you believe in, has sent our way so that each and every one of you that is present here or that is listening to this receives that message that wants to be heard, receives that guidance that wants to reach you at this point in your life. So, before we spin the wheel, I invite you guys to take a moment to think. Amber says, I am wearing black with white polka dots today also. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I love that. Love that. This level of connection from someone across the world. Hmm. Okay, we both have good choice then, Amber. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I was saying that before we spin the wheel, I invite you guys to take a moment to think, is there a specific issue in your life regarding which you would like some guidance? Or is there a specific area in your life in which you would like some direction or clarity? So bring that to your mind. And if there is nothing specific, you can simply set an intention that may I be open to receive some general guidance for today. So when you have thought of something, you can let me know either in the comments or you can just press the heart somewhere here to let me know that, yeah, you have thought of something. And once I get some hearts, then we will go and spin the wheel and see what wants to come through. So let me know so anyone who is joining for the very first, like right now, let me know if you have thought of something regarding which you would like some guidance by pressing the heart somewhere here or around your comment to let me know that we can begin and go and spin the wheel and see what wants to come through. Okay, so we have some hearts, and John has mentioned. First of all, thank you, John, for sharing, what it is that is going on in your mind. John says, positivity about life, excitement, happiness, joy, hope regarding the world, career, and relationships. Quite a full circle, John. Okay, then let's see what wants to come through. I hope that you receive something regarding that. And thank you for everyone who pressed the hearts. Okay, so we will spin the wheel now. Hmm. So hold whatever it is that came to your mind at the forefront, like bring that to your awareness as I spin the wheel. Okay. So the book that came for all of us is, I think this is either the first time or maybe the second time that this book has ever came, and we have had like 92 episodes of this Wheel of Wisdom. And this is the very first book that I read related to spirituality or growth and stuff like that. So the name of this book is The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself. And this book has been written by Michael A. Singer. So this is like a pretty famous book in the spiritual world. So I'm sure like you have heard of it. And if not, then that's okay as well. You are going to receive something of value from this today. So give me a second to open the book. Thank you, Amber, for mentioning the name of the book. Okay, so in a moment from now, I am going to give you certain numbers and I'm going to ask you to choose between those numbers, whatever number that you are feeling called to. Okay. And I don't want you guys to rush at all. Okay. Instead, just take your time and tuning into your own intuition. See which number is coming up for you. Okay. And share that. And I'm not going to choose a number at the top. Like that is not the criteria. Instead, I'm going to tune into my intuition and see which number do I feel called to. Okay. So in this way, we are going to get the best of the both. So I invite you guys to choose a number between 20 to 130. Here you go. Thank you, Amanda, for initiating. Okay, thank you, Amber. Yeah, I'm just trying to adjust my setup so everything is fine. Yeah. Thank you, Lauren, Kimberly. Okay. So maybe just 5 more seconds and let's see what else wants like what other number wants to come to. Mm. Okay, thank you, Marissa. I'm going to fill my cup. Mhm. Okay, so we have some more numbers. Good. So thank you, Elena and Cheryl. So let's see which number am I feeling called to among all of these numbers. Okay, so before I mention the number, I want to let you know that, especially for anyone who is joining for the very first time, that it doesn't matter whose number I choose. It is just for fun. Because whatever number I choose and whatever message comes through, it was meant for each and every one of us because you are present here. So you are meant to receive that message. And that other person is just another source of that wisdom. Anyone and anything can be a source of wisdom. We just need to be open and receptive. So, with that said, the number that I am feeling called to is 77. And the number has been chosen by Elena for all of us. Thank you, Elena. Okay, let's see what is on page number 77. Okay, Oh, thank you for this beautiful flower, Elena. Okay. Hmm. I like this response with the flower. Okay. Hmm. So the author says if you mistreat an animal, it becomes afraid. That is what has happened to your psyche. You have mistreated it by giving it a responsibility that is incomprehensible. Just stop for a moment and see what you have given your mind to do. You said to your mind, I want everyone to like me. I don't want anyone to speak badly of me. I want everything I say and do to be acceptable and pleasing to everyone. I don't want anyone to hurt me. I don't want anything to happen that I don't like. And I don't want everything to happen that and I want everything to happen that I do like. And then you said, now mind, figure out how to take every one of these things, how to make every one of these things a reality. Even if you have to think about it day and night. And of course, your mind said, I am on the job. I will work on it constantly. So it kind of very beautifully sums up all the unrealistic expectations or wishes, that we have sent as a command to our mind because, our mind is like a computer. And we said, I want all of these things, and I want you to do it. But your mind cannot do all of these things. Some of these things, and in fact, most of these things on this list that I just mentioned, or whatever it is that you want, are out of your control, are out of your mind's control. But since you gave that a task, it is like, okay, I am on the job and I have to do this. And it keeps on thinking, of every possible way to accomplish that, of every possible way to keep you safe, to keep you, from getting hurt. And that is what causes worries. That is what causes, worst case scenarios in your head, bombarding one after another because your mind is just trying to predict so that you're prepared. So you have, all these demands and expectations, and you have sent them as a command to your mind, a job that your mind is not capable of doing, like the small separate mind is not capable of doing all of these different things that are outside of your mind's control, outside of your control, and still it is doing that job. So, can you imagine, like, if you were given a task like that? If you were given such a huge task and you were working on it every moment of the day, how tiring it would be for your mind, how tiring it would be for you. And that's what the author means by how we are mistreating it. And then how we are always blaming it, that why do you keep on overthinking? Why do you just, have all these negative thoughts? But we have all these unrealistic expectations and we think they are justified. So, the author continues, can you imagine somebody trying to do that? So just imagine someone else, a human being, instead of just your mind trying to do all of this. The mind has to try to make it so that everything you say is said the right way, taken the right way, and has the right effect on everybody. Is it possible? Is it humanly possible to do that, that everything you say is said the right way, is taken the right way, and has the right effect on everybody. But we have that kind of expectation from ourselves, when your inner critic comes bashing you, when your inner critics, says all these labels and all this stuff, to you that makes you feel ashamed or embarrassed or guilty, it has those expectations like you'd never mess up, that you get everything right, and especially for people who are dealing with perfectionism. So the author continues. Your mind has to make sure that everything you do is interpreted and seen the right way. And nobody does anything that hurts you. It has to make sure that you get everything you want and that you don't ever get what you don't want. The mind is constantly trying to give you advice about how to make it all okay. That is why the mind is so active. You gave it an impossible task to do. So maybe it might help you when you are in a difficult situation to remind yourself of this particular, whatever clicked for you from this reading, to remind you of this impossible task that you have given your mind, especially in a difficult or a challenging situation, and to gain clarity as to what your mind can actually do and what it can't do. You know, how what is that word, like how unjustful it is for you to expect all of that from your mind. So now that I was thinking as to how you can apply this, I thought of a resource that I created, which is a course on Insight Timer that might help you exactly see that in relation to your unique situation. So, not a general insight, but if you are going through a difficult situation, and if you are, having all these unrealistic expectations from life or from your mind, that everything should go smoothly and I do everything right, and all of these expectations that we just mentioned, and that things that I don't like should not happen. So if you have all of these kind of expectations, and if you would like to, you know, not be crushed by them, not be disheartened or saddened when these expectations are not fulfilled, and actually move forward with whatever it is that you can do actually. Because sometimes when we are in all of these, expectations, which are also another way of resisting the reality, that I don't want this, I don't like this shouldn't happen. Why me? All of these are ways in which we are resisting. So, and in when we are resisting in the all of these different ways, then we are wasting our energy in doing that instead of focusing on our energy on something that our mind can truly do, something that our mind is truly good at, and something that our mind would be able to help us in this particular situation. So, if that is something that you would like to do for your own unique situation, whatever it is that you're going through in your life, you can check out this particular course. You can save it and listen to it whenever you have the time or whenever you get into such a situation. Okay. And I hope that you know, this would give you whatever it is that you need. Um, okay. So I'm going to take a sip and then we can do another reading. And if you guys would like to share, something that is coming up for you as I was reading this, as I was saying all of these different things, you can definitely share that in the comments. I would love to hear, read about that. Okay. So Richard says, thank you. Will definitely take that course. Going through a tough relationship breakup at the moment, finding it hard to let go. Hopefully, this course might help. Richard, I am feeling, and I'm sending a lot of love and healing your way. And I hope that as you go through this difficult time and you crave that special connection, you can be reminded or that you remember all the other beautiful connections that you have in your life, you know, so that your need for that connection, for that belonging, or whatever it is that you need right now is fulfilled. So, yeah, sending a lot of love your way. And if you guys would also like to send something to Richard, send some wishes, blessings, love, whatever it is, you can just press the heart or type in the comment, whatever works for you. And Richard, you can see these hearts and feel wrapped in that love, feel connected with all of us. Beautiful. Matt says, yes, same here, Richard. Thank you, Anisha. Oh, Matt, then we all are sending all of those things to you as well, Matt. And I hope that, this course really help you, move forward and process it rather than just jump on to the next thing, but process it, all of it. In fact, the last lesson of this particular course, I have included a whole like guided process to help you to feel those feelings, feel in your case, like feel that grief or loss or sadness, whatever it is, whatever emotion that is for you, without getting overwhelmed, but actually process it in your system so that it don't get stored anywhere. And if any one of you who is interested in learning how to do that, in learning how to sit with your feelings, feel your feelings, and all of those words without getting overwhelmed or drowning in them, then you can check out that last lesson of this course. Okay, so Krishna is sending love to Richard. Richard says, thank you, Anisha. Amber is also offering some gentleness and love. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay, so now, guys, we are going to move to the next, reading for today. So give me a second to open the wheel. Hmm. And by the way, guys, would you like me to do another reading from the same book, or should I actually like spin the wheel and choose a different book? So you can vote in the comments. Do you want another reading from the same book or a different book? Hmm. Christian says, time heals all wounds. Yeah, with a lot of love. Okay, Amber would like same book. Okay, Amber likes the book. So, yeah, let's do the same book then. Hmm. So, anyone new who has just joined us, I invite you guys to choose a number between 30 to 130. Okay. So, take a moment, choose to mention whatever number is coming up for you in the comments between 30 and 130. And for those of you who mentioned the numbers before, but another number is coming up for you, feel free to do that here. Like you can mention another number or the same number because it would be hard to find the previous numbers for me. Oh, 108. Okay, interesting. Thank you, Leslie and Amber. Huh. Okay, thank you, Christian, Olga, Rhiannon. And if I'm pronouncing anyone's name wrong, feel free to correct me, and forgive me. Yeah, and I will, call you out with the right name. Thank you, Lauren. Okay, so let's see which number am I feeling called to? Yeah, Leslie says mala prayer beads. Yeah, so there are like 108 beads in a mala, and that's why like 108 is an auspicious number according to like many different traditions, including mine. Yeah, so it is interesting that the number came up twice, Leslie. Okay. Yeah, but not letting that color love. Sorry, Amber says. Plus one extra. Yeah, I think add the string. Yeah. Like when the mala encloses, like where the mala encloses, or what is, yeah, I am thinking what is the English word for mala? Maybe a string of beads, whatever it is that you call it. Um, yeah, okay, back to the numbers. Let's see. Hmm. So the number that I am feeling called to is, before I mention the number, I see that some new people have joined us. So, for anyone who is joining for the very first time, I want to let you know whoever number I choose is, it doesn't matter that much. Um, since you're here, you were meant to receive that message, whatever message is going to come through from that page number. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. So the number that I am feeling called to is, interesting. The number changed. Uh-huh. Okay. So it turns out it is 108. Okay, so let's see what wants to come through from this page. So that so much so that two people aligned. Hmm. Okay. So the author says, okay, give me a second to find the starting of this. Yeah, okay. The author says, just think about how nice you are to people when they behave in accordance with your expectations. Now think about how you close up and pull back from them when they don't. This is not to mention getting angry or even violent towards them. What are you doing? You are trying to change someone's behavior by leaving impressions on their mind. You are attempting to alter their collection of beliefs, thoughts, and emotions so that the next time they act, it is in the manner you expect. In truth, we are all doing this to each other every day. Why do we let it happen to us? Why do we care so much whether other people accept the facade we put out there? It all comes down to understanding why we are clinging to our self concept. So, self concept basically means how our conception of ourselves, like what we believe about ourselves, what we think about ourselves. So, all the beliefs, all the thoughts, and everything that comprises the identity, that comprises the self that you call as me. Okay, so that is the self concept. So, our idea of our own self. So, it all comes down to understanding why we are clinging to our self concept. If you stop clinging, you will see why the tendency to cling was there. If you let go of your facade and don't try to trade it for a new one. So, what the author here addresses is that sometimes when we recognize our beliefs and our thoughts, what we do is that we plaster it with a positive thinking, a positive belief. So, if we don't do that process, and if we just see our beliefs or thoughts for what it is, if we just see our self concept for what it is, just a idea of our mind, just um uh, a content of our mind, something that our mind has created. mm, yeah, so if you don't try to trade it in for a new one, your thoughts and emotions will be unanchored and begin passing through you. So, kind of like, so when the author says they will begin passing through you. So, when you are no longer identified with any identity, with any self concept, however you define yourself, that I am this, that I'm Anisha, I am a female, I am of this religion, of this country, of have these particular personality traits, and like basically our identity. So you know, um, when we see for when we see it for what it is, and we don't trade it for any other identity. So if I see that these are all my beliefs, and I don't switch to another set of positive beliefs or positive thinking, and if I just see it, if I just observe it, if I just be aware of it, if I be the awareness that observe, then these beliefs and these thoughts would pass through you, would pass through that awareness. The thought would arise, the belief about yourself, for example, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, would arise, would come up in your mind. You will see it existing inside you, you know, inside your mind. As you are the awareness, you would be aware of it. And then they will go away if you don't indulge with it. So, in this manner, they would pass through you, and you would no longer be clinging on to one identity or trading it for another one, and clinging on to that identity. So, if you would like to experience what I was just saying or talking about, then yeah, it was from this Untethered Soul. I have a real difficulty pronouncing the name of this. Um, yeah. So I was saying that if you want to experience what the author is here trying to say, then I do have something for you. I have a lot of things for you. But if you want to start with just one simple thing, you can start with this particular track of mine, which takes you through that journey of simply being, So if you would like to get in touch with yourself, then you can check out this, you can listen to this particular track, which is the existential question, who am I? So you can check this particular, track out. And each time you would come to it, there would be a different level of understanding. There would be something different that comes up for you because, yeah, because it is a journey and not something that I'm telling you. So, so you can save this if you want to, listen to it later. And the other thing that might help you experiencing what I'm trying to, what the author is trying to say here is then I have this another resource for you. Give me a second. Yeah. So if you want to understand what it is like to not cling onto a thought, onto whatever your mind is throwing at you, and simply be aware of it and let it arise, let it stay, and let it go, then mindfulness is that skill. Mindfulness, you know, is that skill that would help you experience that, experience how your thoughts no longer control you, how you no longer have to just paint a positive picture, just replace it, but help you experience that you are much, much vast and endless and spacious to contain any thought, any emotion, no matter how overwhelming it might have felt. You are, you are. That's it. You are. And all of these things just comes and goes. And you are. So if you want to develop this kind of a skill, so this is a very deeper level of, transformation pathway that you can take because there are like different pathways to the thing that you want, right? And there is no one pathway. And as I have taken my journey, I have learned, I've moved from like each stage, So initially I was also doing that, just taking those thoughts and replacing them with something else, taking those whatever it is that my mind was throwing at me and just painting a positive picture. Then I learned to do something else, that I have mentioned in one of my other courses, which is helpful because sometimes we need to go through all these stages. You cannot directly make a leap to the last stage or to make maybe this is not this last stage, but yeah, this is a slightly deeper stage, you can say. So you cannot make a direct leap because if you do that, then whatever you learn is going to be more of a conceptual learning or intellectual learning rather than an experiential one. And those are the one that, the experiential one is the one that I feel is real, because the concept are just another way of holding on to our identity and just adding more intellectual, adding intellectual being one of our other identity, so one of the other label that we associated with. So yeah, so that is also something that I've got stuck in my own journey. So there have been a lot of stages. Yeah, so so but what we were talking about, if you want to delve into that, you can take this course. And if you like the idea of maybe not painting a positive picture so much so because I do not think that is a sustainable way to go, and that is not a very healthy way as well in long term. Um, but the next stage from that is to learn to challenge your thoughts and beliefs And that is sometimes a very important stage to go through before we move on to completely letting go of all of these. Because once we do that, we will see the true nature of our mind, true nature of our thoughts. That thoughts are real, but not necessarily true, no matter what your mind is telling you. And that you can only learn when you learn to question your unique thoughts, not just the general thoughts. So, if you would like to learn how to do that, then I have two courses for you. This was a very important stage that helped me, go a lot deeper because this is when, so in this course, I've included all those tools and all the ways of challenging and all of those things that I knew because this will help you see the true nature of your thoughts, true nature of your mind. And then it would become easier to not be hooked by that story that your mind is telling you and apply anything else, whatever it is. It can be mindfulness, it can be something else, but this would help you bring a distance between the thoughts and you. So, yeah, you can check out this particular course. You can save it if you are interested in learning whatever I just mentioned, in learning how to question your own thoughts and beliefs rather than just blindly believing whatever it is that your mind is telling you. Because your mind tells you a lot of things, and you might have noticed not all of them come true. Okay. So, yeah, you can save this course. And the complimentary course that goes with this one, which is on Insight Timer, is this. So, this particular course help you, this course on overcoming your common thinking errors, help you learn about the common thinking patterns that are present in, most of the humans all around the world. So it helps you because once you know these patterns, you can select like the top ones for you. And also, I have included strategies for each type of thinking pattern so that you would be able to, to gain distance between the thought and yourself. That is the aim, and that can happen with any different approach. Okay. So, yeah, so if you would like to learn about all the different common patterns that make people life miserable, all the different ways of thinking, then you can take on this course and yeah, and see if you can find out your top three ones. And when you know that this is the some this these are the particular thoughts or these are three particular categories that are in which I have the most, of my thoughts, then it becomes easier to spot them and then to challenge them at that time whenever they are getting triggered. So okay, so the sequence, if so the sequence is the course before this one, which is transform your negative thoughts and master healthy thinking. So go through this course first. Okay, then go through this particular course. It would just help you deepen and apply whatever you learned before, but with a more specific list of thoughts. Okay, so this is the second one. And then once you go through all of them, then you can go through this particular course. Okay, which is the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Mindfulness Meditation. And finally, once you have done that, you can try this particular track because then the level of understanding that you would have would be of a different level. Okay. So, yeah, this is the whole sequence if you would like what I would recommend you to do. Okay. So, now I'm going to go through the comments. Hmm, Before, I will take a sip and then go through the comments. And like Christian, if anything, is coming up for you guys as well, you can share in the comments or you can just press the heart to let me know that whatever it is that we were talking about resonated with you. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Hmm. Okay, thank you for the hearts. They always tell me that I'm not just blabbering on my own. Yeah, it makes me feel your presence. Okay, Christian says, your ego is the enemy. When you let go of your materialistic nature or something else superficial, your true spiritual self comes through. The natural state of who you are is pure, not manufactured. I love that. Yeah, the word like manufactured, because these beliefs that I was talking about, of what who we believe we are not something that was there, that was present as we were born. They were conditioned. We learned them from the world around us, from, the people, the experiences, and all of those different things. So, when you take away all the beliefs and all the things that you associate with yourself, what is left is you. Okay. So, which reminds me of another thing. Yeah. So, the last, I think. Yeah. So, I have like made a lot of content around it. So, that's why I'm recommending. But if you are not interested, you can simply ignore it. Yeah. So, if you are interested in identifying those beliefs, identifying what you believe about yourself, and especially those beliefs that are limiting you, that are not letting you, you know, live by what truly matters for you, that are not letting you do whatever it is that you want to do with your life, that are not letting you have that peace of mind, whatever it is. So, if you want to become aware of them, because that is always the first step. So, if you want to know what those are, because those are all like most of the times those are hidden away in our subconscious, so we are not aware of them and they are running our life. So if you want to become aware of them, then this particular course is for you, because this will help you see all those beliefs that you thought were true, but they are just a conception of your mind, just like anything else. And these are those set of beliefs that might be limiting you. So, again, in the last lesson of this, I just share a very simple way to bring a distance between that belief and you, so that you no longer are merged with it, so you are no longer attaching it to your I am statement. Like, I am Anisha, I am an introvert, um, I am not good enough. I am not worthy. So that you are not attached with it, so that a distance comes between you and that belief. And that can only happen when you're first aware of this thing. So yeah, if you are interested, you can save this course as well. And maybe recommend it to anyone else who you think might, like this course better than you. Okay, going back to the comment by Christian. So, where were we? Yeah. So, the natural state of who you are is pure and not manufactured. You are more than your career, as an example. This was a tough one to decipher, though. Yeah. And the tough ones, Christian, give us the most important shifts, the toughest time bring to us something, if we learn that something from that time, that stays with us to our, like, deepest core, that becomes something that we live our life by. So, I don't know you, but I'm proud of you for your strength that you showed in that time, that helped you come across this particular shift, that helped you come across this particular insight. Christian says we exist, and that is it. Okay, so as a comment, Bikari says, thank you very much for reading. It's really encouraging. I am glad that you felt inspired by the reading, Bikari. Guest says, what are those readings from? We usually, so in the past like 8 years in my own journey, I've read a lot of books and I've chosen some of those books. I put it on a wheel, we spin the wheel chooses a book for us, and from that book that have been randomly selected, we do a reading. We just read one small paragraph from that whole book to receive that message that wants to come through. Okay, so the book for today was The Untethered Soul. So I hope that clarifies, things for you. Richard says, I can't wait to take these courses. My relationship ended because I expressed some needs based on expectations of my ex partner. I'm so confused if I was being unreasonable, if it was my ego getting triggered, or they were reasonable requests. Okay. So your needs are always valid, not your wants, but your needs, you know. And there are always different ways to get these needs met. And what the clashes between people comes um, from the differences in terms of the strategy or the way through which we can meet that need. Okay. So, whatever need it was, I don't know your whole situation, and I could not say like a lot about it. Okay. But I want to just remind you or share this with you that your need is valid. And maybe the problem might have been in the strategy that you suggested to meet that need. Okay, for example, maybe you have a need for security and you ask your partner to stop talking to all other of our friends. This is just an example. Okay. So that strategy might not work, because that strategy might not have met a need of your partner, which is to have maybe freedom, which is to have maybe connection, whatever it is that was her need, you know. So the clashes, the conflicts happen when the strategy to meet that need is not benefiting both the individuals. So what works is negotiating and finding and having clarity on your need first, because most of the times we do things and we are not aware of a particular need of ours. Okay. And our need is, again, our need is not that I want you to stop talking to all your other friends, for example. A need is that I have a need for security. Okay. So that is a need. I have a need for security. I have a need for freedom, authenticity. These are needs. So we need to, first of all, distinguish between the need and the strategy, and then find a strategy, find a way that meet both people need. So, for example, in this case, so if you have a need for security, or to feel valued, um, and your partner is giving a lot of time to her friends and not you, then you can meet this need, for example, by discussing that I would like to have this time. Can we have the scheduled time where we can spend more time with each other? Or, for example, whenever you are with your friends, can you in between take out like 5 minutes and um, send me a nice message, whatever it is, whatever works for both of you. So, yeah, so again, your needs are valid, your strategy might be the problem. Um, okay, yeah. So I hope that that helps in some way to someone. And with that, I think it's time to wrap this live. So, thank you so much to each and every one of you who was present here. Richard says that's so helpful and insightful. Thank you. You're welcome, Richard. I'm glad that um yeah, it was you found it helpful and useful for you in your current situation. Okay, as I was saying that if you found if you like this session, if you found anything valuable from this session, and if you would like to support me to continue doing these sessions, to keep the space alive, then you can support me by making a donation of whatever amount that you can. So only if you are able to and if you want to. There's always no pressure. And yeah, because these donations do help me keep the space alive and keep creating resources that can reach, other people that you may not even know, but you in a way impact, you in a way touch the hearts of the people that would benefit from those offerings. So yeah. So yeah, I like to see it in that way, like a ripple effect. Okay. And I guess that's it for this live, but I have a next live schedule, which is day after tomorrow. Thank you, Richard, for this kind donation. I so appreciate this gift of love from you. And I hope that this energy of love and abundance that you're sharing my way, that you're sending my way, ripples back and touch all the different areas of your life, all the areas that you mentioned in the comment, your career, your relationship, whatever it is. And that energy makes that area bloom. So thank you. Leslie says peace to all. Thank you, Leslie, for tuning in. You're welcome, Richard, and thank you. Okay, so yeah, I was saying that if you would like to, um, check out more of my offerings or to know more about you, you can always go to my teacher profile. And in the About section, you can read more about me, and you can explore more of my content on Insight Timer. So, yeah, I would love to hear how you're finding all of those creations, all of those courses, meditations, and stuff like that. So, yeah. And for anyone who tuned in for the very first time, I want to introduce myself maybe at the end, but yeah. Yeah, so I am a mindfulness meditation teacher. I am a psychologist and an aligned life coach. And I help women who are unsatisfied with their life, with their current life, to create a life that they would love waking up to. So that is something that I love, guiding women with. And I hope that if you are interested in any of that, you can read more about me in the About section of my teacher profile on Insight Timer. Okay. So, yeah, take care, you guys. Richard says thank you. Matt says thank you. Thanks, peace, and love. Amber says thanks, Anisha. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. I will see you day after tomorrow. And here is my next live. So you can RSVP, and I would love to see each and every one of you there. Bye bye. Okay, there is a comment. Christian says, to summarize, in my opinion, when we strip away our armor and let love in, we allow beauty into our heart and find peace and joy rather than expectations and ambitions. Thanks, Anisha. I love how you put that, Christian. I love that summary. And I hope that other people also find something from this to carry forward into their day. So, yeah, bye bye. See you guys. Take care.